Hey there everybody, Mazarok here, and today we're going to be doing the Blood DK Prepatch Survival Guide. I'm going to go over a few builds with a few different legendary options because of the way the new talents work, and just some general things that I want to talk about, as well as some soulbinds, soul conduits, and all of that. Of course, please do like, comment, subscribe. We're barreling towards 5K. Thank you everybody so much for the support. Flabbergasted as always. There are t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve shirts for sale. You can get your Blood DK I'm the Healer Now shirt. Plate tanks do it better, or I only do dungeons fully erect. Get that down on the link down below, as well as a Discord link. And of course, I cannot do this without any and all of my patrons, so thank you so much for that. If you wish to be able to support me directly or have access to a living document of all of the talent breakdowns and everything for Blood DK, Protection Paladin, Protection Warrior. I am currently working on Avengers Demon Hunter 1 as well. Of all of that, if patron link down below. So let's get into it with soulbinds, soul conduits, because of course some things changed. For example, Hardened Bones, when you have Lichborn active, it no longer reduces anything. As well as there's a couple more here. Spirit Drain, that's the one there, no longer really works or is reduced to 0, so it's obviously not something you want. So this is the soulbind setup that I have here. I have Withering Plague for increased heart strike damage. I put in Fleeting Winds to give us extra zoomies. Meat Shield as well is going to give you an extra 3 seconds on your Dancing Rune weapon, which is going to be very, very useful. I went with the Anti-Magic Zone Endurance Conduit, because as per Endurance Conduits go, they're with the nerfs, they kind of all went not great. Like 2% max HP healing on Condensed Animosphere. Hardened Bones isn't working. Insatiable Appetite to increase Death Strike's minimum healing by 1%. So lackluster, it doesn't even matter. Rune Tap heals your party for 2% of my maximum HP. Really, like, come on. Like, a lot of these, right? So that's what I've been running here with the Potency Conduits being Withering Plague and Proliferation, sorry, and as well I'm taking Chilled Resilience as another finesse conduit. Alright, let's talk class tree. So, Chains of Ice, Mind Freeze. Now, this option here, you can go with Blinding Sleep, Cold Thirst, or Permafrost, your choice. I went with Permafrost. The Frost Shield actually does considerable healing, not compared to, Death Strike or anything like that, but it is noticeable, and it is nice. Could keep going down the left as well to grab Icebound Fortitude. Merciless Strikes, Gloom Ward, big absorb healing, very, very nice. Asphyxiate and Runic Attenuation. After that, we still go down the middle here for Anti-Magic Shell, Improved Death Strike, 2 points into Veteran of the Third War, and then AMZ. And then on the right side, we're going to go with Raised Head, grabbing your Cleaving Strikes, so then that way your Heart Strike hits as maximum targets as it can for maximum damage. You really, really do want that. Enfeeble, this one here, you could actually go with Sacrificial Pact or Control Undead, whatever you see fit. This buff has a small uptime and isn't great, but it's mostly just for pathing because we want to get Brittle. We're running Superstrain now as our main legendary because we have all of the Dancing Rune weapon kind of tier and talent all built in type of deal. So you're gonna wanna go with Brittle with Superstrain, so that way it's gonna have about, in the dungeons I was running, it was around 60 to 70% uptime. Very, very nice to have. Might of Thessarian for increased strength. Grab the Unholy Endurance, so Lichborn gives you a 15% DR in last 2 extra seconds. Then we can get 5% extra haste from being in our D&D, and we have full D&D uptime now because of Death's Echo. Death's Advanced, Death and Decay, and Death Grip all have 1 additional charge. So this is going to be something you are going to want to be tracking. As your D&D is fading off and about to go away, you're going to want to have another one ready to go down. So you're going to have to manage your runes just a little bit better than we may have had in Season 3 and 4 when we didn't have to manage anything. We just had it all. We had full runic power whenever we wanted it, and we had crazy amounts of rune generation and everything like that with the insane shackle spread and stupid amounts of haste and all that. But there is some stuff that you're going to have to watch out for there. Will of the Necropolis, Rune of Mastery, put 2 points into there to gain 6% strength for 8 seconds whenever you consume a rune. Well, not whenever, have a chance to. which does proc fairly well, but you do have access to Slappy Hands now. So now we're going to be able to have Slappy Hands and Shackle the Unworthy at the same time, and honestly, it's a lot of fun. This is kind of the base build that I've been running off of. You can take a point out of Asphyxiate if you want as well and put it somewhere else if you feel you don't need the stun. That's completely up to you, but this is the base build that I've been running off of, where most of the tweaks that I've been doing have been based on the spec tree itself, depending on whether or not you had Superstrain or if you still wanted to run Crimson Rune Weapon as your legendary. I'm going to say this a couple of times. Superstrain is the most optimal way to go, but if you want and you're just trying to get some fun keys done or whatever, you can go with Crimson Rune Weapon and not have to pay what the price gougers pay. Getting into the spec tree, we're going to go down, grab Heartstrike, Marrow Rend, Improve Vamp Blood, Blood Boil, Crimson Scourge, Improved Heartstrike, because we're still doing a lot of Heartstrike damage, as well as Death's Caress and Ossuary. This is the base build that I have been running for the first few talents. Do note there is now a little game to be played, which is actually kind of fun between Death's Caress and Marrow Rend, because Death's Caress now gives you 2 stacks of Bone Shield charges. So for the cost of 1 rune, you gain 2 Bone Shield charges and 10 runic power, but for the cost of 2 runes, you gain 3 Bone Shield charges and 20 runic power. So most efficiently, Death's Caress is going to be kind of your better play to refresh Bone Shield stack charges, but there are going to be times where you are going to want a Marrow Rend, and that's going to be something you're going to have to feel out and play with. There's no, hey, this is the one scenario where you use it. I think there are some times where it's better to use it in the middle of a pull. It's basically what you need for runic power is going to be the biggest factor there, as long as you're not starving on runes. Now, for Superstrain, we're going to go down the middle and grab all of the Dancing Rune Weapon talents. Grab Hemostasis on the right, Relish in Blood, Rapid Decomp, Coagulopathy, and then we're going to go down and grab Sanguine Ground and Red Thirst. Sanguine Ground really caps off this entire 100% D&D to gain Heartstrike Cleaves, 5% haste, 5% damage, and 5% healing while inside your Death and Decay, but it also increases Shattering Bone damage by 3 times, tripled. So very, very big there, and to get down to Shattering Bone, we're going to go Heartbreaker, Improve Bone Shield, Reinforce Bones, Tombstone, and then Shattering Bone. There are a couple of times while I was running this build where I would have really liked to have Blood Tap, but I didn't want to do anything to give it up. So this is going to just require proper play and people to stop spamming Heartstrike the entire time, because you have to start managing your runes just a little bit better. Not entirely game-changing yet, but there are times where you're going to have to watch your Heartstrike button to make sure that you're not just constantly going. But since we're still running Shackle, you still do have access to a ton of free runes every 45 seconds, so it's not the biggest problem in the world, but there is some gameplay changes that are occurring. If you choose to run not Superstrain and you want to run Crimson Rune Weapon as a legendary, you can do that. Take away the 2 points of Insatiable Blade and Everlasting Bond, and you can put them in Leeching Strike, Blood Tap, Rune Tap, Improve Vamp Blood. You can grab Voracious as well. Bloodworms is still really good. You can grab, you have a lot of things that you can go around and grab if you so choose. This is actually a really, really fun build that I got to play with. The damage is really, really good. I do say that Superstrain is the most optimal way to be playing Blood DK right now, by the way. You just get way more benefit, and you also don't have Infinite Dancing Rune Weapon anymore. So the way to get the most amount of Dancing Rune Weapon is with this way here. So that way you can get this other talent here to increase the duration by 8 seconds flat. So really, really strong, really fun, just as survivable, but it does require you to manage your resources just a little bit better. I know we're getting into Season 3 and 4, where there was no resource management. You always had runic power, and runes were plentiful en masse, but right now we still have a ton of haste, so runes are generating very, very quickly. But it is something you're going to have to watch out. If you have Shackle on cooldown and nothing left to spread for free runes, you absolutely want to be watching your runes a little bit more and managing that and pooling a little bit of runic power to get some big death strikes as you're going on. So thank you very much. Have yourselves a good day, and happy tanking. Cannot do this without my patrons. Thank you again. Bye.